Here are your hosts, long-time partners in slime, Adam Obscene and Mark and Mark.
Hello Brisbane, hello Melbourne, hello world. This is Wastelands, and we are your cane punk pariahs, your caffeine creeps, your B-grade ghouls. I'm Adam Obscene, and with me tonight, as always, is Marco Maha.
Hey, Adam Obscene. Hey. Hello, listeners. How are you?
I thought I'd just pull out the old intro we haven't done it for a little bit, so
I like that.
It's burnt into the brain. It's Harry does a good job, but you know it's not enough. It's not the same. I've been missing the old intro.
Yeah, I know. I will have to go back to that.
Let's do both. It'll be double just to reinforce that subliminal messaging of what the listeners are listening to is two jerks in the darkest corner of the internet lurking around their podcast feed, playing around in the wastelands.
There we go. That's us.
That's us. Mate, we don't really have anything to talk about tonight. But it's just really important for mental health and well-being to keep this going. So
yeah, absolutely. Our Sunday night check-in where everybody listens. I wanted to use something that you said as a segue ad.
Yeah,
May
sure.
I?
Yeah, go for it. Segue away.
Segue away? Okay. I wanted to use what you had said about hanging out in the darkest corners of the internet to explore your darkest corner of the internet, which is your studio obscenito.
Oh,
you have some news to share about some stuff you've been doing.
Well, yeah. Well, everyone knows that 2020 has been pretty ordinary. My 2020 kicked off with a massive ant invasion through my VHS collection, and it was brutal. They literally got everywhere. I thought it was over. I thought it was the end days. I thought it was done. But I pulled out my trusty tape cleaner and my little screwdriver set and my cleaning tools and lots of surface spray, because there's a little thing you do, listeners, if you ever get an ant infestation in your VHS, is you spray a table with surface spray, and then you put the video onto the table that has the surface spray, and when the ants crawl out, they die and they don't crawl back into the tape. Just a hot tip. But what happened was that I had to sort of pull the library apart. And in doing so, I got to contemplating that maybe there's a better way to catalogue, organise, and access the media collection that I have. And so I cleaned all the tapes up and I stacked them higher than my head in a cleaned insecticided area, and then sat on it for a little while. And,
not literally.
Not literally. Oh, I kind of had to sit on some of it. So basically, the studio, which is the dungeon underneath the house, has been in rack and ruin for a little while. But I got probably 4 or 5 weeks ago, I got a touch of inspiration, and I started looking at the space, and I'm probably 40% through the reconfiguration of the studio. When I say studio, listeners, I have a space that is for the podcasting and for the sound recording, and then there is a painting and spray painting and screen printing part of the studio, and then there's libraries, lots of libraries, like there's audio libraries, there's multimedia visual video format libraries, and then traditional epic hardcover, softcover, pulp fiction book library. And so I've been in this place for 6 years. We've been in this place for 6 years, and I think finally it's starting to feel organised. As you can probably see in the background, you've got a perfectly framed shelving system of videos behind me. So
it does look good, listeners. I can vouch for that. So
yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. What's really been interesting though is going through the collection. Let's just talk about the movies, because That's the one I sort of really started on. I've created down the centre spine of the studio space, a double-sided shelving system, which is 9 shelves high, I think, and then 6 bays of almost under a metre. Shelves. So I think I worked it out to be 64 linear metres of shelving each side. Our American listeners, I'm not going to convert that to feet. You'll just have to go onto Mr. Google and sort that out. So I think it's probably a little bit bigger than Olympic swimming pool.
True.
And what's been good about it is by getting them all up, there was a system. I did have an organisational system in the previous setup, which was ad hoc at best, but it got me to thinking about how to actually do this when it's all in one place and, more traditional. So what happened was I was sort of digging through the videos and I was looking at the VHS and I was being inspired by the stickers and the stamps on the VHS, and you'll notice probably, listeners, if you look back through the Instagram feed, a few of the Idiot Box posts had a bit of a video box style design on them. That was probably directly related to design when I started dicking around with the videos because I go, these stickers are sick.
They are.
So that made me think, well, what is the best way to catalogue this beast of a collection? Because, and we had a couple of big discussions about this, Marco, is that doing it for like a traditional book library doesn't really work.
No.
And then there's lots of sections that you can go with. But we landed on, and it was kind of an epiphany moment. It was a bit of a aha and a bit of a no-brainer. And it was really looking at the videos and looking at the really cool stickers on the videos that they were all by category in the video shop. Well, that's the way you organise your fucking video collection, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. So you put the comedy in comedy and the horror in horror and you genreify it.
And then, A to Z, genre A to Z. And so that's the bit where I'm at the moment. There was also some interesting and probably not so interesting. If you're not into media, you're probably tuned out by now. But if you're into physical format, you'll just be loving this shit sick. But we talked about how the placement of big box video cases to small box video cases to DVD and Blu-ray, how you organise that on the shelf. It's like I'm listening to myself now and I'm going, if anyone has sleep apnea or has insomnia, they'll probably put this guy podcast on. It'll be great. But so basically, the long and the short is I'm getting sorted, but it's got me thinking. Now that you've said to me, let's talk about Studio Obscenido's collection, there is a couple of prime videos that I've come across that are just really, really funny videos. And one of them is one called Chud.
Okay. Dark recesses of your studio. Regale us, mate, with what you found.
Back in out of the vault. So a couple of these. So this is how hilarious the disorganization of the collection is at the moment. But in some ways, it's actually really fun. So this one here. It's in November 29, 1977, the New York Times reported that there were large colonies of people living under the city. The Times was incorrect. What was living under the city was not human. Chud is under the city. And Chud is cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers. They're not staying down there any longer. Yeah, so this is really this is a nasty film, really great. This example is awesome because it has the horror and the $3 weekly stickers on it and everything like that.
Love that.
But what I did like,
that? Would you be Instagramming this?
Yeah, I'll Instagram these. I'll put these up. So this one was interesting because this came from because the other thing I really love about videos that are ex rentals is their sort of history, which is held within their video jackets. So I purchased this one for $1. It was a $3 weekly at one stage. It was in a section called horror, and it's got lots of horror. It's got like 3 horror stickers on it, just in case you were confused about what genre it was. But then I opened it up, and it says Bald Hills Video and Leisure. And the phone number is 261-2001. Now, that's back in the day before we went to... that's a super short phone number. So that's like... that would have been early 90s at some stage. What's cool is I live in Bald Hills now. Had no idea that Bald Hills had a video. Oh, shit, that was my mic.
Great.
Had a video shop called Bald Hills Video and Leisure. And I can only assume leisure kind of is like maybe a place where you get bait and tackle.
Chud, bait and tackle.
Chud, bait and tackle. All right, so the next one, sort of on a theme, is it's 36 feet long, weighs 2,000 pounds. It lives 50 feet below the city. There's a bit of a theme there. Nobody knows it's there except the people it eats. Alligator. Oh,
Alligator. That movie was fantastic.
Yes.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah. So again, it's I've seen this one. This is actually one of the first big, enormous animal sort of films that came out in the 80s. It preceded. Like all those mega sharks and giant crocs and all those weird movies that Asylum have done. But
did it precede Jaws though? Did it ride the Jaws wave? Excuse the pun.
Pretty sure it was 1980. So Jaws, was that 78?
Good question. Sorry.
Quick, you go Internet Movie Database while I keep on rambling, and we'll sound like we know what we're doing. So
okay, I'm looking up Jaws.
Jaws. So I'm pretty sure Alligator was 1980. This is a great video too, listeners. This is Roadshow Home Video Presents. They brought out the nicest, schlockiest, nastiest big boxes in the video shop, so that was really cool.
That's cool. Jaws was 1975.
Oh, okay. Well, we were in the 70s. We were kind of close. So, yeah, it would have been dry. It was on the... that would have been taking the formula of Jaws and turning it to other aquatic man-eaters. Okay, what else we got? So there's 2 subterranean dwellers.
I like that.
So we got here, first we plant the perversion, then we harvest the horror. Demented Death Farm Massacre, the movie, trauma classic.
Oh, look at that.
What I love about this is that there's a little circle on the cover. It's recommended by Leroy's mama. And you'll remember Leroy from our trauma series, which was Leroy's mama was gained revenge on the surf Nazis in Surf Nazis Must Die. So this is a film pack. This one, Mark, was one of the Hangover Hall of Famers that we used to watch back in the day.
Sure.
I think we saw this. This has got the trailers on this video are amazing. It's got Surf Nazis Must Die and Curse of the Cannibal Confederates. The trailers on that. So a gang of sophisticated maniacal jewelry thieves and a crazed backwoods farmer and his beautiful voluptuous wife, John Carradine, the king of horror himself. Demented Death Farm Massacre, the movie, tells a story of 2 very different cultures where the elite meet the cheap.
Eat the cheap. That's great, mate. You really have found some corkers in the inner recesses there.
I think that this movie strongly channels Russ Meyer. The common law cabin, the sort of outlaw sexploitation films that he did. I reckon that's got a bit of that in it. Okay. So this one, Kid and Play are back to party harder in House Party 2, the Pajama Jam.
Oh, pajama.
So
That's great.
listeners, I don't know if you're into your 80s and 90s hip hop, but Kid and Play were sort of like the equivalent of Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. They were sort of like hip hop light for the white people, I reckon. They weren't gangster.
Yep.
They were like, and these guys made the quirky crossover to making bad video comedies. And when I say bad, I mean you have good and you go bad, back to good.
Back to good.
And so this one has a special appearance by Whoopi Goldberg.
Ooh.
Major video, $3 weekly. It's
nice.
Basically Kid and Play are back, a little older, not much wiser, but just as funny. I maybe question how funny this is really firmly in the world. Like if at the time you'd be watching this directly from the video shop, would have been around the time when you were getting Weekend at Bernie's. You probably would have been getting out Revenge of the Nerds at the same time. It's that kind of Police Academy, Vice Academy. It's that sort of the comedy section in the video shop at the time would have been is full of these.
Yeah,
and
Naked Gun.
You know, like it's just that quirky cheeseball 80s sort of comedy. And I'm just seeing 94 minutes, had a pretty banging soundtrack. It had Queen Latifah was in it as well. So, you know, bit of an outstanding cast of performers. So that's cool. So that's a full snapshot. We're 17 minutes in. Did you want me to go and grab 3 more?
Yeah, go on.
All right,
go on.
This is where we cue the sound effect of the vault door opening. And he's back.
He's back. All right. Show us what you retrieved from the vault.
This one came from Mooloolaba Video. It's under action this time. Sam Hell has a mission to fertilize as many women as possible. It's a nasty job, but someone has to do it. Starring Rowdy Roddy Piper, the legendary rival to Hulk Hogan. Hell comes to Frogtown.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
So you watched this recently on Tubi, didn't you?
I did watch it on Tubi, yes, and I got all the way through. Such
a good movie. We'll do. This is a prelude. We will do a full episode on Hell Comes to Frogtown, but so I won't talk too much about that one. The next one is A Dirty Dancer is Now a Desert Warrior.
Yeah, cool.
So who do you think might star in that?
That sounds. Is the Swayze in that?
Yeah, so it's Patrick Swayze in his post-apocalyptic classic Steel Dawn.
Oh!
So this is like a cross between Mad Max and Dirty Dancing, by the sounds of it. So
wow.
This came from Flix Video, $3 weekly. It was an RCA release. Dirty Dancing star Patrick Swayze returns as a nomad, a soldier of destiny in a futuristic action-packed venture where nuclear war has reduced the world to a vast desert wastelands. So anything that says wastelands, perfect. So, what's funny about this is that Swayze sort of fruits around in this weird, like, fucking sword. It's hilarious. So it's just like this, you know, and he's got this bad, you know, like, the baddest kind of post-apocalyptic movies where they like just put hubcaps on their shoulders.
It was that? Oh no! The Fall from Grace. Swayze, what are you doing?
So yeah, that's I don't even know what year that was. This would be 1987, I reckon. Yeah, 1987.
Too funny.
So kind of around the same time as Thunderdome.
Yep. Ah, yes, of course.
All right, so this one is an Ozploitation classic. For listeners out there that don't know, Ozploitation is the amazing genre of film where in the 70s and 80s, the Australian government had a tax incentive program to attract international films to be made here, which effectively gave film producers 110% tax write-off so they could actually be paid to make movies here. What benefited from that is a lot of Australian productions. So you got a lot of genre-based B-grade films just being punched out, and there was a lot. Tarantino loves them. Not Quite Hollywood is a great documentary. If you don't want to sit through the films, you can watch that documentary. And that's actually got Tarantino talking in it about how he loves the way the Australians film cars, that he says it's almost erotic. But this one is actually a controversial, violent film that shocked Australian critics and broke box office records in London. It's Turkey Shoot, and Turkey Shoot is great. And it's so Turkey Shoot is basically a classic storyline of the elite trap the unfortunate and release them and then hunt them down. Like a good old turkey shoot.
Good old turkey shoot. So, that sounds good.
So 1995 was the year this was set.
Oh, wow. Future.
The future. The sport is hunting and the people are the hunted. There is no room for individuality. Anyone who dares to defy the system is thrown into brainwashing detention camp where torture rules and where prisoners are candidates for manhunts which end in death or freedom. So it's got a little bit of Running Man in it.
Yeah.
So
that sounds great.
It's really cool. It's got previews of other hit movies. Now, Mark, the interesting thing about this is I picked this video up from Trash Video when they shut down 11 years ago. Trash Video was Australia's premier B-grade VHS video store and unfortunately did not succeed the digital wars of 2010. But what did happen is Andrew Stumpy Leopold did fire sell a lot of videos, and I filled a lot of holes in the collection.
Nice.
But what was really cool about this is on the back is so on these Roadshow Home Video Presents, they not only had the trailers on the video, but on the back cover they had photos of other movies. On the back of this one is The Last of the Knuckle Men, which is like some street grounds, level brawlers, but then Battle Truck.
Oh, very cool. Our favourite.
Yeah, so from episode 2, the good old Battle Truck, when we discussed Battle Truck and then banged on about obsolescence and when something ceases to be useful becomes obsolete and then obsolescence becomes desirable. So how's that for a link around that we're in this episode talking about things that are obsolete that are now desirable? We had an episode in episode 2 about Battle Truck, talked about that, and then Battle Truck turns up on the back of an obsolete format. Amazing.
There we go.
So yeah, that's it.
Fantastic, Ads. Thank you for that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos from the vaults of Studio Obscenito.
Fantastic, Adam. Thanks for sharing.
Well, that was that went from walking into an episode of having no idea what we were going to talk about to something that was not so bad. Maybe that's going to be a good format in the future, Marco, for when we have run out of things to talk about, where we just go and grab 7 random videos from the collection and talk about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's it. What do you reckon?
I reckon.
That's they were fun. They were all very similar. I would say that House Party 2 was probably the red herring in that lot.
Yeah, good though.
But that's how it rolls, man. That's how it rolls. So listeners and listeners, we are on all the platforms. You get your lovely streaming of podcasts from. Oh, that made no sense. But that's okay. We're on those ones. You can check us out. Type in Wastelands Radio Show to check out what we've done. New and old episodes can be found there. You can email us at wastelandsradio@gmail.com. And you can go straight to the source and check out wastelands.com.au for episode notes and listening to the podcast from that. And also a link to the new merch store where we have trucker caps and T-shirts. Cool. Check that stuff out. Marco, is there anything more you would like to add?
Adam, have a great evening, and it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Punk rock, street trash, Wastelands.